We are in Italy. It's a typical cafe. You got 45s hanging, totally tricked out. So I know we're getting close. All right, we're going through the city square here, and we're in Florence, Italy. And I got a line on a record store. It's called Move On. So we're gonna head right up towards the front door here. And the lady at the cafe had a bunch of 45s hanging from the ceiling. So I figured that would be a good person to ask. And sure enough, she steered me in the right direction. So I like it. It's an Italian pub and record store combined. So we'll see what they got, but so far so good. And a pub combined. All right, let's give it a try. Hey, how you doing? Buongiorno. Do you have the records?
Yeah.
I'm a collector.
Of course. You can go upstairs on the left.
Okay, thank you. So this is the pub area. They're playing some Foo Fighters. And you're in Italy, so you got naked ladies, of course. We're gonna see the David later, which is a naked man. And the Botticelli, which is a naked lady. And so far, this is pretty cool. There's Madonna. Got some other bands, looks like New Order. Prince is on the wall. And of course, all the way from Gary, Indiana, Michael Jackson, he's everywhere. And the Beach Boys wearing their Pendletons. Imagine that. Hey, how you doing? Buongiorno. So that's pretty cool. This store, I like it. Got some 7-inch records right away, so I'm looking at those. I'll tell this guy it all looks like newer Italian stuff. I'm looking for old soul. There you go, right there. Tammy Terrell. 30 euros. They're not messing around. I got this record at home. The Hollywood Argylls. 30 euros. Something. Johnny Taylor. 6 euros. All right. I'd pay 6 euros for some Johnny Taylor. Ruth Brown. Got some Motown. The Supremes. 8 euros. Very Gordy. Marv Johnson. I'll get a Marv Johnson. I don't think I have any Marv Johnson. Brooke Benton. Oh, cameo. Soul Strut. Might do that. The OJs. Contours. Do you love me? You can get that back in Commodores. Cadillacs. Motown Yesteryear. Tammy Tate. That's that Coco label. Joe Simon. A lot of stuff I can get at home. I'm looking for those Italian picture sleeves. Pretty cool. Nice shot. There's Elvis. Food keys. Bob Marley. Very cool. Very cool. There's a record store day leftovers. So they must have participated in record store day. Hey, do you have any more 7-inch?
We only have this.
Okay,
now,
yeah, I'm a
I'm
collector.
sorry.
That's all right, yeah.
We have some, but we have to bring back some.
Okay.
55s,
All right. Okay. Thank you. That's pretty wild. I'll get a couple. Take a look at the condition. All right, this looks interesting. I saw these guys in Brixton in '87. So it's the 40th anniversary reissue. It looks like a German pressing. I'm gonna pick that up. Sometimes you gotta look through these things first. A lot of this is just common American Motown. I mean, I can get this in the States for $2 or $3 per. Yeah, this is common stuff. Pretty wild, like someone made a homemade sleeve for a jacket. And it's just out of a newsprint oldies but goodies. So I gotta believe it was like a teenager. But it's pretty cool. Alright, we're checking out here at Move On. And guys looking for some magnets and stuff like that. Cool little shop. What I like about it is you can park the wife over here for a drink while you're buying records. C'est bon. All right.
Yeah.
So a tap.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Just chilling here at Move On. This is the room off the main drag. You can see my buddy there that just checked me out. Nice guy. We were talking about Iggy Pop and the Stooges. They all know Iggy Pop. Jimmy Osterberg, I think is his real name, or James Osterberg. But there you go, right here. So, like I said, you can chill and have a glass of wine if you want. Get away from the louder music, or do the full-blown record store. So I give them an A for presentation. A lot of cool posters. Got mirrors on the ceiling, records everywhere. So, you know, A for presentation. Your wife can have a glass of wine while you're having vinyl. So that's a good combo. Looking at the Rolling Stones, it looks like something from Rome, so that's pretty cool. Hey, I give this place a A+ for just visual imagery. I really like it. It's right next to the cathedral. And you can see the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and of course, who could forget Prince? All right. Turned out the best view of the cathedral was from the record store. So we're moving on to a place called Sleeve right now, straight up the street. Here we are at Sleeve. Oh no, they're closed. Closed Monday and Sunday. A lot of these European businesses have weird hours. So it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get in. But we tried, right? Let's see if I... All right, here we go. We're at Sleeve, and it's sort of roped off because they're closed today, so we're sneaking in. And definitely just a hole in the wall, but these are some of the best. And look at all the 7-inch that they have. So I would have been in heaven because it's the kind of stuff. Africa, pop, punk, all picture sleeve. You know, you're in Italy now, so they don't mess around. Picture sleeve is the norm. Like if you got something without a picture sleeve, that would be like a big deal. So a lot of Italian stuff, but they love American disco, funk, this kind of stuff like that. Chili, Fahrenheit. I mean, look at this. All sleeved. And some obscure stuff, right? Some disco. Some international disco.
Give me your bag so he doesn't think you're putting stuff.
No, it's all right. Just cool stuff from top to bottom, man. A nice little 7-inch section. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to buy anything because they're not open. But, you know, Kiss, the Rockets, you know, all sorts of stuff. Some obscure stuff, some Euro stuff. Vanilla Fudge. Look at that one. All right. I don't think we're going to be able to buy anything, though.
There's stuff behind you, too.
Yeah, there is stuff behind me. And, you know, these are just pretty much $3 picture sleeves. Some obscure stuff. Some junk. But I just love how in Europe they're committed to the picture sleeve. And the record stores, they have a lot of thought put into them. The displays are all very cool. And this is only 12 foot by 12 foot, but it's got a nice little vibe to it. Johnny would love this place. Detroit Bob loves this place. Anybody who's into vinyl would love to hang out here and just spend 2 hours going through all the vinyl. Now the store in front, these guys let us back here, which was sort of cool. They got some CDs, they got some old Marantz audio equipment, and it's called Sleeve. So if you are in Florence, in the vicinity of the cathedral, go to both these places. Move on and go around the corner to Sleeve, but just make sure you check your hours. I got the same problem on the other side of town. They got a stack of records waiting for me, and they're closed today. And we got a 12-hour tour we got to hit tomorrow. So I'm just missing out just barely on some of these caches of records. All right, we got in through the back door for this clothing shop. I just talked to a guy named Francisco from Sleeve Records, and he's willing to let me go on Discogs, look at the inventory, and meet me later with a cache full of records. If this comes through, this is a big haul. So I'm liking, he's got some good stuff, he's got some rare stuff, and it sounds like he wants to sell. So I got a little time. We got to go tour the David. My wife's been dying me to see it all day long, so we're going to go there first and hopefully score some records before this trip is over.
Okay, what time?
All right, the meetup didn't work out, so we're back on the train and heading back to Rome. But first, we got to do a quick stop at Cinque Terre. But Rome awaits us, another train station, and with all the traveling, you really got to budget your time for records. We're walking around looking at the Pantheon, but look at this. Stereo Sound, it's a record store. So
And the wife found it.
And the wife found it. So look at that. Some great stuff. We're going to go in here and look around. This is pretty cool. I got some record store day. Pretty wild. You got record store day stuff. Record store day. Do you have any 7-inch?
No.
Ah, man. I'm a collector. They're pretty cool. We got the Beatles. Got some good sound. No 7-inch though. What the hell? Yeah, you walk into a place like this, they got CDs. They got some Radiohead playing in the background. Very cool. Cassette door. DVDs, autographs. Okay, got some Blue Note stuff. Nice collection of LPs, but no 45s. Very cool. Do you have a card? Yeah. Very good. Oh, nice clean shop. I would recommend it for people that collect LPs. That's the way it is in Rome. You just walk along, you got Verve in the corner, so that's pretty cool. How long have you guys been here? Been here a long time?
Yeah.
How many years?
54 years.
54?
Yeah.
Wow.
1971.
1971, okay. I'm a collector from Chicago. I'll put you, I have a YouTube page. Do you have a pen? You got something? I might as well spread some goodwill, so I'm going to tell them about RockMine. I'm going to tell them about my Discog page, and I'm going to be an ambassador for our side of the pond. I have a feeling I'm going to be back in Italy, and I want to get a feel for these different stores and communicate with the owners and the establishments. So I'm talking and observing, and I'm taking it all in. I like this less aggressive approach where you walk in with a hardcore list and you want to just spend 8 hours. I like the 45s. So look it up, and then I'll throw you in an episode. I've got 500,000 views. All right, take care. Yeah. All right, so that was cool. Great owner, great shop, and if you're down near the Pantheon, this is where you want to go to buy your records. Cheers. Ciao bella. All right, not bad. Sort of high-end vinyl here in Rome. So we're gonna try to hit one more before dinner, but we're at the Pantheon, so I'll call it a win. We got some vinyl going here in the lobby of the hotel, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Just using it as a decorative element. You got Double Fantasy there. And then of course a bunch of books, all the Italian, typical. Yeah, just like that, it's time to go home. All the Italian that I picked up, all the vinyl that I picked up, and probably put a couple inches on my waistline. But what a great trip. Heard of a lot of American rock and roll in the bars, cafes, and markets, and a lot of blues and soul. So I think the vinyl vibe is driving this re-examination of our great musical history from the 1950s onward. So here we are, ready to head home and call it a couple of episodes. Italy was great. In a lot of ways, it's where the West begins. And I really got a feel for the metropolitan feel of Rome, the beauty and the majesty of Florence, the coastal village of Cinque Terre, and then hitting up Rob over in Pescara was just a nice respite from the bustling trip. Time is of the essence. We hit 4 regions in 6 days, and we had a train that broke down and some tracks that were closed. So I'll tell you what, take time to plan your travel and take the time to have a little wiggle room in between your stops. And I didn't get as much time in the record stores as I would like, just because of all this logistics. I mean, 25 miles on a map in Rome could take you an hour and a half in a car or a cab. And trains, although the schedules are pretty good, they might not run on time. So flying over the Mediterranean, the great plate thing, the 10-hour flight, Soulville, the 4-part series was on the register or on the little TV in the back side of the seat. So I got the 4-hour series completed in the 10-hour flight, and before you know it, we're landing back in Chicago. So it was a great trip. We're already planning on going back. Back from Italy. What a great trip. And here's what I brought back with me, and was able to get this cloth bag at Move On. And that was one of those things where I gave the guy my card and told him I was a collector, and that any stickers, magnets, or freebies I'll try to feature in my episode. And here I am featuring it. So let's see what's in the bag. And we'll go through these records one by one, not in any particular order. We'll break them down a little bit more and have a gem of the week. So let's do that. What do we got in the bag of tricks? Well, first of all my stuff is on sale on Discogs, so you might want to check that out. And definitely a good time to invest in some 45s. With all the turmoil in the world and all these tariffs and everything, vinyl to me is a commodity. Why not invest in vinyl? Because one thing people will want to the day they die is good music. And I think it is a commodity, especially when you're talking about lost and rare treasures like 45 RPM records. So at the end of the trip, that's where I ended up at Move On. And not only that, they got these sort of psychedelic I don't know if you can pick up the movement of those little flames, but it's like one of those little cards, bubblegum cards you got that you would get the movement. How cool is that? That was in Florence. And we went to the cafe, and you'll see on the video, the girl said, go to Move On, go to Move On. But this was high end, man. It was a pub, and the record store was upstairs. So, guys, if you're out shopping with your wife, and I know you've been through this before, she rolls her eyes when you say, I want to go to a record store. Well, she went over and got a glass of wine. So what a great postcard. Who do I send that to, man? I just thought it was really, really cool. I'll send this out to another one of my fans. Maybe they'll get a kick out of that. Maybe Detroit Dan will get that in the mail. So Move On was cool, and I'll put that right here so we can feature that. And then this was their regular card, but I didn't stop there. Like, you got any freebies? You got any bags, stickers, magnets? And you'd be surprised what these guys come up with. This guy finally said, wait a minute. He went in the other room, and we got into a discussion about Iggy Pop. So there you go, Move On. So they get all this free publicity because they definitely upgraded their giveaways. So that was definitely cool. Move On, and that was in Florence. And it wasn't that far away from the main drag. Now, did they have a good 45 section? I'm going to be honest, it wasn't the greatest, but I picked up a couple gems. And whenever you see, for example, this old Cameo label right there. So we're going to zoom in on that. And I love that because, you know, Bob Seger was on Cameo, and I got some, I think 2+2 was on my mind, and some heavy music. So €8. Yeah, I'm probably overpaying for these. I haven't even entered them in Discogs yet. Let's see what the condition looks like. That's pretty damn good condition. But Ohio Express on Cameo. Now, there's two Ohio. I always get them mixed up. There's Yummy Yummy Yummy, Ohio Express. Is that them? I just featured them not too long ago. Here we go. Try It. And I guess that would be the A side or the B side. That's 5/8 on the. Let's see. That's one. What I'm looking at when I look at these labels, to try to figure out the A side and the B side. And I might be missing it. But a lot of times you think that's the A side. You have to look at this little tiny number here, 058. Okay? And then compare it to the other side. And I would give this a very good plus, man. So this came all the way from the US. This is not an Italian label. So what do we got over here? 889. So soul strutting, that caught my word. Whenever you get the word soul on a record, or blues, or rockabilly, if the name of the record is also including the genre that you're collecting, buy it, because it's upping the price. I haven't looked at this, but I'm sort of excited. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Is it a U.S. label? I can tell it is just by you looking at it, and you'll see the difference. And what the hell? How did this end up in Italy? You know what I mean? I don't see any indication that that's an Italian label. And we'll see a couple Italian labels coming up. Great pickup. I paid £8 for it. I don't care about the price at this point. I was just having a good time, and I didn't want to walk out of there empty-handed. It'll probably stick in my collection for a while, but I'll put it up for sale and see what it gets. Now, moving right along. You should know your Motown labels by now, okay? So I found this Motown, and once again, this is another Marv Johnson on Gordy. And you say, Gordy? Yeah, Gordy is one of the main Motown labels. And it's, if you look here in the front print, and I tell you what, man, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, but you see these grooves with that little needle right there. How cool is that? Let's see if we can zoom in on that. All right, we're zoomed in on the Gordy label. Now let's get even closer. It's what's in the grooves that count. And ain't that the truth, man? What a great... Barry Gordy was great at marketing, and he snuck these little messages into his packaging and labels. So It's what's in the grooves that count. And look at that. Now that's Marv Johnson, and sure enough, Marv, I'm not a plaything, okay? And that, another thing about Motown, they give away what year it came out. 1965, right there. Almost always you see 1965. And then they'll go over here and give it away again when you're looking at sometimes the song publishing. It'll even give it away on that side. So Marv Johnson, let's see if we can figure out the A side from the B side. This number says 7402. And then as you get a little closer there is another number here. And I don't know the technical names of these numbers, but if you zoom in, you can see a little bit better. That's usually the last 3 digits to do it. 318. Let's go to the other side. This one's a little moldy, but 211. So in my counting, 211 is below 308. So this would make this the A side. Why do you want to let me go? And look at the writer on that. How cool is that, man? You zero. Sorry about that. Let's look at the writer on that. And how cool is that? Some of these I can zero in on real easy, others not so much. But Berry Gordy was a songwriter. And I think he was Berry Gordy Jr. So this isn't Berry Gordy's son. I think Berry Gordy was a junior to begin with. And in 1965, yeah, that would be Berry Gordy. And he's still alive today, and he cashed out a long time ago. Sold Motown for millions of dollars. I think in the 80s he sold it for like 200 million or something. Probably worth $500 million now. The catalog, man, the catalog is everything. But why do you want me to go? Once again, let's see the age on that. And 1960. So it might be a reissue, you know. So I was reading that wrong the other day, or on the other side. 1960, and then you go over here. Gives you, you know, who produced it, how long the time is. A trademark of Motown Record Corporation. So everything was done properly. Berry Gordy didn't make any business mistakes. He made sure that he got credited as songwriter, that the trademarks got copyrighted. Even the names of the bands like the Jackson 5 were copyrighted. Now you might say, what's this little mold? This will clean up. I'm thinking it's at least very good plus maybe even. But what the hell is this doing in Florence, Italy for sale in a whole big bin of LPs in a tiny little, and you'll see in the video, a tiny little Italian pub and record store called Move On? How did it get there? God only knows. But I was hearing Motown playing all week long in Italy, just on various speakers. I heard the Beach Boys. I heard Motown. I heard soul. I heard jazz. I heard blues. American music has made it across the pond, and I think rightly so. I would dare say in a lot of these art forms, R&B, soul, and even with the Northern soul scene, you see an embracing of American music even before we did it ourselves. So that's very cool, and I'm glad to see that type of thing. Definitely is still going on, and it's multi-generational. So that's why these catalogs are going for billions of dollars. So with Queen selling their catalog, that was incredible. And then sure enough, I found this. What the hell's that? Well, it's the Jesus and Mary chain, and we're getting into the punk new wave scene. But yeah, that was really good. And it's all in Brixton in London, the Brixton Academy, and this is a 40th anniversary reissue, which is sort of cool. And if you see up here in the corner, that was sort of a sealed little thing on top there. So you really can't get into the record without taking that off. So I felt good about that. And then the artwork's very cool. I'm not sure where this release is out of. It says made in Germany. I'll tell you what though, the Italians and the Europeans in general, that's they do the artwork right. And I don't even want to take this out because it's sealed right here up top. So I paid 25 euros for it. I probably way overpaid for it. But it's, you know, I'm in freaking Italy and I got 10 minutes to shop, you know what I mean? So I think I did okay between the bag, the high-tech postcards, the card, and the experience talking with an Italian dude about Iggy Pop, you know. So yeah, Iggy Pop, he grew up 20 minutes from me in Ypsilanti. So that was fun. And I walked out of there with some decent 45s. Let's check out what else I got. Here it is, the gem of the week, all the way from Italy. Yes, the Ohio Express from Ohio. That's where I found this record. It's called Soulful Struttin', back with Try It. So Try It's actually the A-side. And these guys were a hit-making machine, and their big one was Yummy, 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 I Got Love in My Tummy. We just picked that up last week? Yeah, 2 weeks ago in Gary, Indiana. This one was in Rome. So, you know, these things travel all over the world. American rock and roll is all over the world. I heard it bouncing from the airwaves in Florence, in Rome, Pescara, and even Cinque Terre. So there you go. Big hit-making machine, the Ohio Express, showing up in Rome. So I brought it home, back to pretty close to where it first came out of, Ohio. So that's a gem of the week. Italy was great. We're going to take another episode and flesh it out even some more, and we'll go from there. And we're going back up to look for Northern Soul. I know you guys are dying to get into those Northern Soul bins and find those hidden gems. So we're going to hit some more of those. The name of the show is RockMine. I'm Detroit Bob. Make sure you subscribe if you like this, and check out all our records for sale on Discogs. And we'll see you next Friday, always around noon, Central Time, that is. That's when the episodes drop. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.